Right, now we'll move on to the second part of the day, second part of the agenda, sorry. We wanted to present to you also the School of Entrepreneurship, but we thought what better way to present it than actually showing our students and their projects that they're building. And so just to give you, before we go on to their projects, just to give you a quick idea, like with the school, as Andre was saying, we had 200 students last year, and we are having like the fourth program being built right now, which is Say Changer, which is for high school students, but Explorer, Pioneer, and Inventor modules are mainly for university-level students. So today, we wanted to present to you our students from Pioneer. It's a 12-month program. They started last year, June 2018, and they work for the first 6 months, taking a challenge from a corporate and building a tech product to kind of understand how to build products and the concept of a client and everything. And the last 6 months, they built their own startup, which was completely independent from the first 6 months. So next year, we're actually expanding it, like this year, like the next version, to include these 5 verticals. So on AI, space, bioengineering, automation, and AR, VR, because we think for the next 10 years, these might be verticals of high interest for deep tech. And to speak with the teams to actually give you a bit more info on where they're lacking, I wish to introduce to you Mr. Noam Ohana of XR Seeds, who will be joining us on stage.
Thank you, Raghu. I'm very excited to be here. I'm Noam, based in New York. We're the early stage arm of XOR, and excited to kind of help XOR reconnect with its entrepreneurial roots. We're venture capital fund, early stage, doing anything from seed Series A up to a little more mature venture company on a global basis, and excited to meet the ecosystem here and do more things in Italy. Really, there's no reason for us to not be more active here, and here with my team. And I think they've also discovered other aspects of Turin yesterday night, very late at night. So that was another good thing. Yeah. So
all right.
I think
so Noam will be playing the Shark Tank role. So as the teams will be presenting, he'll be asking a question or two to the teams, trying to see if there are any points that they're missing. And then, as soon as all the 4 teams present, we are going to have you vote on the teams. We'll share with you the details to connect through your mobile phones for voting on the teams with 3 simple questions, just to give them some feedback on the work they have done so far. So, Noam, if you can take your place.
Sure. I've been asked to, they told me it's Shark Tank, but a gentle, soft version of it, so I'm going to try and be more of a dolphin or something.
All right, so we are going to go through the 4 teams. First team that I want to introduce to you is Sorti, and Julia will be presenting the project. Come on in.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. We are Sorti, and we want to use artificial intelligence to improve waste management. Today, I'm here to talk to you about this huge problem that involves all of us. Nowadays, worldwide, only 31% of trash is correctly differentiated, but the percentage in developing countries is even lower, only 4%. And even in Italy, only 53% of trash is correctly differentiated. This means that the rest, 65,000 tons, is left in landfills or burned in incinerators. So this corresponds to 30,000 tons of extra CO2 released in the atmosphere every year. And this is what happens. So, what's the problem with sorting? How is it even possible that we still have trash in our cities? The problem is that people are always in a hurry, or sometimes they just don't care or simply don't know where to put the waste. And that's why we developed Sorti. Sorti is a smart bin, which is able to recognize trash, automatically classify it and separate it. In the meantime, collect a lot of important data. Our tech is based on a machine learning software of image recognition that relies on an image database that we are constantly updating. After the recognition is done, the waste is automatically separated into the correct bin. Okay. It's automatically separated into the correct bin. So, Sorti recognizes and sorts. But in the market, there are other players. Some of them do only compression, others only recognition, and some others do recognition, sorting, and also compression, but they are expensive. With Sorti, we can provide the same accuracy, but with the lower production costs. The advantage to having a smart bin is that you can improve the quality of your trash by reducing the rate of contamination under 10%. Save time, since you have to look for just one bin instead of multiple bins. And improve logistics thanks to sensors that tells you when the bin is full or almost full, so you can easily take it away. But let's consider a common situation. This is a vending machine surrounded by people in rush, and the bin is full of trash. When we use this vending machine, we are often in a hurry or we don't have time, so we don't care that much about where to put our waste. And this is why we decided to target vending machine as our complementary product, because next to them, you throw away one item at a time. And the kind of trash produced is quite homogeneous and easy to classify. And also, there is a great amount of trash to properly manage every day. So we decided to analyze the vending machine market, and we noticed that 50% of them are located in offices. And that's why we want to targetize offices as our first customers, because they are interested in a product like ours, and we can better manage the trash they produce every day. The waste management market is huge. Just the Italian one is worth 3.3 billion euros. And to enter such a huge market, we want to first concentrate on promoting our Sorti locally in Piemonte, Lombardia, and also Italy. And targeting 5% of the all amount of offices, we are able to reach 10 million euros revenue in few years. To do that, in short term, we need 50,000 euros for starting the production of our first sorties. Indeed, we are planning to install 10 bins in Polytechnic of Turin by September, and to install our first bin into a private structure by November. Next, we are planning to launch the second version of the product by 2020, and to enter the European market by 2022. To achieve this goal, we need 300,000 euros for promoting our product, for research and development, and for industrialize the whole production process. Now, we are delivering our sorties to early adopters for 350 euros, or with a monthly fee of 30 euros. Everything I said was not possible without the amazing team we are, and I want to thank you, all of you guys, for all the hard work we have done in this month. So, if you want to come and see our product or simply talk to us, feel free to join us to our stand later. I am Giulia, this is Sorti, and I want to thank you, all of you, for the attention. And if you have any question, feel free to ask.
Thank you. So, also asked, we're a little short on time, so I'm just going to go for one question. And I'm going to ask that question as a New Yorker. Something that's very frustrating is we do, I think, a reasonable job at sorting, but up to 70% still ends up in landfills. And so my question to you is, as you're working hard to solve the problem, how do you get comfortable that this is the problem? And that, on the other end, if we all, as good citizens, do a good job at sorting, we are at least confident that the local authorities and government will do their job, because otherwise we can sort all we want. It's not going to help. So I wanted to know if you guys thought through this.
Well, we noticed at the university that the situation was quite tragic, actually, because we looked in the bin and we could see often it was lots of things were misplaced, and this is quite a common occurrence in all places where you're not in your house and there's lots of people, and the responsibility is not yours per se, but it's distributed. So that is the problem you say also, but I think in a lot of cases there is also the fact that for many public places it's not worth collecting each category separately because the contamination is so high. So if you can reduce the contamination to under 30%, even in these cases it is an incentive for the owners of the place to collect the waste separately.
I think we can give these guys another round of applause. Thank you. Thank you.
Guys. So to go towards the next team, I just want to use the breaks between each of the teams to give you some information on our program. The Say Pioneer program is being run together with the Alta Scuola Politecnica, which is a top 1% of the students between Politecnico Torino and Politecnico Milano. It's like a school of excellence. And so you would see mostly, when you're looking at the teams, engineers and architects and designers, but mostly from the technical universities. So if the interdisciplinarity is mostly in the STEM field for this team, for these teams, we apologize for that, but it's still a pretty good program for it. And for the next startup that is presenting, No AI, we have Nicola and his team coming over.
Hi. Can I start?
Yeah, I think you're on.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Nicola Pivaro, and today I will present you NOAI. In the next 5 minutes in which I will speak, in the world will be sent more than 700 millions of emails and more than 200 millions of WhatsApp messages. It has never been so easy to share data, but people are interested in data and in knowledge, and knowledge is not data. No, I think there's a problem with the slides. Okay, I don't care. The problem is that today we still don't know how to manage knowledge. And this is caused by the fact that people lose a lot of their working time recreating and redoing documents they did it before. And for this reason, in Europe, each year we lose more than $200 billion for problems related to knowledge management. The main reason behind this problem is that knowledge is difficult to save. Think about all the time a company loses value because one of the elderly employees decides to retire. Knowledge is difficult to assess. Do you remember the last time in which you got crazy because you were searching for an email and you were not able to find it? And then knowledge is difficult to share. Think about last time you used your time to solve an issue and then you discovered that one of your colleagues did it before. So the idea is to create a system for the knowledge digitalization and management. When two people are speaking, there's an exchange of information, and knowledge is hidden in this exchange of information. So with NOAI, we are developing machine learning algorithms that are able to extract the knowledge from the facts of information and save it in a knowledge base. Now I want to present you the first use case where we try to apply our technology to show you the advantages of using technology of this type. And I will do it with the help of Aldo and Christina. When Aldo has a problem, he calls Christina, he describes the problem, and Christina uses her skills to help him identify the problem. We analyze the process, and we discover that as much as 30% of the total assistant time is used for identification of the problem. This is a case for Christina, a problem of trust in our company, instead for Aldo, an economical loss. So with our solution, what changed? When our solution, there's Aldo and Christina, and the system received the ticket from the assistant request from Aldo and tried to suggest to Christina the ticket to help him identify the problem. So this is the request the system receives. He computes the request and he suggests the path. An identification path is a procedure that Christina can follow to help him identify the problem. And he can suggest this path to Aldo to help him. And we estimated that with this solution, we can save up to the 50% of the identification time, give it back to Christina to increase the productivity. We make an analysis of the assistant ticket, and we discovered that there are two types of assistant ticket. The easy one with a low fixing time and a low complexity, and the hard one with a higher complexity and a higher fixed time. And these are more related to the business-to-business market. And what we want to do is exactly to solve these kind of issues with no I compared to our competitors. The market related to the software that are able to solve this problem is the market of knowledge management system, and it's estimated to grow up to 33 billion in the next years. At the beginning, we will follow a business model based on the consultancy to be sure that we understand the problem, and when we will be ready, we move to a software as a service implementation to increase profitability. So we started from a dream. Okay, we started from a dream, and our dream was to save technology, to make it accessible, and make it shareable. Then we moved, speaking with the company to understand if this dream was also their dream. We created the technology, we tested, and we found 2 interested customers in our technology for the assistant process, so the process I described you. But then what we discovered that was still more interesting is that our technology can be applied to digitalize knowledge in all the industrial process. So we are searching for other customers in this application, and we found other 3. So now we are just thinking which will be the next step when we can apply this technology. And we know we can do this because we move from the initial dream to a clear vision, and our vision is to help company to create the company brain with no I. This is the team who made everything possible. We are 7 engineers from Politecnico di Milano and Politecnico di Torino, and we are here to searching for people who want to support us. So if you are interested in what we are doing, please come later. We are the guy with the no I badge, and we are really interested in speaking with you. Thank you for the attention.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. So
I'm really sorry because there was a problem with the slides, but I tried.
I think we really got it, and that was great. Quick question on maybe how you guys train the model initially, and how long it needs to collect data until it is at a point where it's operational.
So thanks for the question. We made the system that could actually be initialized without any need of data, because it is able to learn by using it. So actually, at the beginning, it could start without knowing anything. Of course, if you provide them data at the beginning, then the learning curve will be, of course, much higher, in a sense that it will be good in much less time. And
Understood. Maybe a quick one. How do you get users to buy in? How do you get that usage to get started and make sure that there is that need and that consistency in using the model? How do you commercially get there?
Yeah, we spoke with really a lot of company, and we understood that there's a double problem. The first one is to improve the efficiency, and a system like this can, in the short term, improve the efficiency. But the coolest aspect is that for the company, the knowledge is an asset that today is lost, or it's not in their hand. So when we suggest them our solution, they are able to catch the idea that behind the work we are doing, there's the possibility to create an internal asset that is the knowledge of all their employees. And so this is the reason for which at the end they say, okay, I want to try it.
Great. Thank you, guys. Another round of applause for Noai.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, No AI. All right, the next team is coming from a more impact innovation perspective, but still they're using really cool technology. So to present to you Nymphea, there is Luca and his team.
Thank you, Raghu. Good morning, everybody. As you know, Italians are renowned for their typical gestures and common phrases. And one of them, to express simplicity, is actually easy as drinking a glass of water. But wait, is it really that easy? While for all of us here in this room, getting water from the tap is a daily process, 3 out of 10 people in the world don't have access to clean water. And while we work, study, or just enjoying our time, these people spend 140 million hours every day looking to avoid drinking dirty water. So, as you can see, clean water and sanitation is a huge problem, which is also listed among the 17 issues that UN aims to solve by 2030. And that's also our mission. I'm Luca, and together with my team, I'm proud to present you today our solution, Nymphea. So, Ninfea is a device, or better, a small infrastructure that costs 600 euros, able to clean 300 liters per day, enough for a community of 100 people. And these people, without sanitized water and electricity, are counted to be more than 300 million in the isolated villages of sub-Saharan Africa. And why that's important? Because that's our target. And Ninfea perfectly suits the need of this population. In fact, our solution implies no chemicals, no electricity, and no supply for maintenance. But let's see how it works. So basically, the first step is a slow sand filtration. Water is poured from the tops, and debris and heavy metals are reduced by adsorption and sedimentation. This produces a first type of water suitable for personal hygiene, while it's the second step that produces drinkable water thanks to solar heating. A compound parabolic mirror concentrates rays on a metal tube. In this way, viruses and bacteria are eliminated thanks to high temperatures. And the last step is the storage of clean water, which grants water supply even in cloudy days. And this concludes the whole cycle. However, I know what you're thinking, and the answer is yes. There are already some solutions on the market. However, to be effective in such communities, we must consider two main parameters. The first is affordability, which is the cost of clean water per liter. And the second is reliability, which accounts for maintenance and needs or supply. In fact, there are many interesting solutions that either didn't succeed because were too difficult or just too expensive, or were just not adopted by the locals. So, as you can see, African market is huge and complex, and that is why we need a network of people on field to make it work. So let's see the process. Basically, Ninfeas are sent to Africa to local entrepreneurs who will be engaged from us through a subscription, and they will be in duty to spread our device on the local scale. And then, they will empower village responsibles to carry on water production and sell it in their communities. In this way, Ninfea becomes a source of income for the responsibles and for the entrepreneurs, generating revenues not only for them, but also for us. This is a sustainable and scalable process whose aim is to enable local development bringing clean water. Now, I'll tell you where and when we'll bring our Ninfea. So this is our path till now. We began to think to Ninfea in March, and then we validated our prototype at the Maker Faire and started an informal collaboration with E4Impact, who's an Italian school for African entrepreneurs. They will introduce us in countries like Kenya and connect us with entrepreneurs who will lead to partner with us. However, the problem is huge, as you saw, and the situation is dramatic worldwide, especially in India and Southeast Asia. In fact, we plan to expand in those areas once the network will be steadily running, investing the revenues in research and development while adapting Ninfea to the different contexts and scenarios. However, to think big, we need to start from the little things. And today, our goal is to raise 100,000 euros to get our pilot on field and test Ninfea. Because a decentralized purification system is a simple, sustainable, and inclusive way to have drinkable water, and also to foster development in those places where water that we do consider so common over there, it is so precious. To conclude, I want to thank those amazing humans behind me. We're a group of architects and engineers, so if you have any any questions, we'll be glad to answer them. So reach out on our website or just meet us at the exit. Thank you very much, guys, for your attention.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. So first thing, I'll share just a very short story. I had a little bit of a traumatic business event because I sat down with 3 Luca in the same meeting. So we were 4, and there were 3 Luca. So if someone wants to think through that, I think there is a e-sorting maybe a solution to come to. So I was trying to. I'm very interested by what you guys put forward. What I want to ask you is, how do you make that difference between the nonprofit and the for-profit? How do you stay on one side while you're clearly passionate about a problem that is, deeply, affecting these communities. And on the other end, you chose to build a company and not to attack it through the nonprofit side. So how do you think about that?
Yeah, thank you for the question. Usually these things are thought as non-profit projects, let's say, and NGOs do these things. But we think that there is a different path to follow. Usually these things are assistance projects, the assistentialism. Let's say the locals, the inhabitants are not involved directly in the process of, let's say, cleaning water. So as we said before, solutions that are present on the market are not adopted because they are simply imposed, let's say. We want to make these things eradicated in the societies where they're put. We want to create in a way that if they are a source of revenue for the community, if they are a source of economic development, they are more accepted and they become a profitable project.
Understood. Great, guys. I think I want to hear more, so, and I'm sure many of us will, so we can find you right after the...
You can just find them right outside.
Great, another round of applause.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, you can find all the prototypes of our teams and also them themselves right behind where OGR is tech, where you entered. Like there are some tables, you have the prototype. So when you're leaving, if you want to spend some time with them and give some feedback or share some contacts, that would be very appreciated. So going to our final team of the day, it's Wise Air, being presented by Carlo and his team.
Hi, everyone. I'm Carlo Alberto, and today I'm here to introduce you to the world of Wiser. So everything comes from a very simple problem. Today, we all know what we eat. We claim to know what we drink, and yet we have no idea about what we breathe. In spite, according to WHO, only 1 out of 10 people in the world breathe clean air. Not everybody knows that air quality is a hyperlocal phenomenon. It can change more than twice as much within the same district. And nonetheless, today's monitoring stations are still bulky, expensive, and too few. And they produce data that are totally unusable. A problem that you can't measure is a problem that you can't solve. And this is the reason why our mission is to create hyperlocal and real-time air quality maps that will be the starting point to bring clean air to our cities. And we want to do this with Arianna. Arianna is our way to reinvent the sensor, turning it into a familiar object of Italian design, a balcony pot. Arianna works 100% with solar energy collected by organic cells integrated in the outer walls. The energy is used to power a sensor hidden inside that is capable of measuring and sending data to a distributed IoT network in full autonomy. Data coming from hundreds of Arianna distributed in our cities will allow to create detailed maps, updated in real time, and available to everyone through the app we've developed. According to the OECD, air pollution is a problem that only in Europe has a social cost of more than 700 billion euros per year, with a great market potential. Our business model starts from the vision of a smart city of the future that uses the strength of urban communities to trigger large-scale transformation. So it starts like this. We create vertical communities of citizens highly sensitive to the problem. That starting from this fundamental asset, we activate a co-creation process of the monitoring infrastructures, distributing the pods and monetizing through the direct involvement of people. So each city will host a 50K campaign with 3 different participation models. Pioneers that believe in the value of the project and want to contribute to mapping the city. Ambassadors that want to feel like protagonists and with a higher donation they receive a pot on their balcony. And sponsors that see in our campaigns and communities a great opportunity of promotion. Then Wiser will enter the market with the first pilot project in Milan in 2020, to move then to the European market in 2021. In 2 years, we will reach more than 50 cities, 1 million people community. And thanks to the profit we are making in this first phase, we will achieve the break-even at the beginning of 2021. But at this point, Wiser will have distributing monitoring infrastructure throughout Europe, generating the great value that will trigger the second phase. Millions of unique and exclusive data that will be used by public and private stakeholders to tackle the problem of air pollution as never before. Wiser will enter as leader at the beginning of a pipeline of a market that is just born but is now in strong growth. A market where already today air quality data are sold by analytic companies for more than 5,000 euro per month. To validate our business hypothesis, we've already created in few months a community in Milan of more than 1,000 people that allowed us to collect more than 50 pre-orders on the Facebook group. After founding the company, in March, we've already won more than 50K grants that allowed us to reach a first MVP, and now we are ready to receive the first seed of 200K to start the production in larger volumes and all the communication campaigns that allowed us to that will allow us to realize the strategy on the Italian market the next year. We are a team of 5 young engineers and designers with skills in the field of hardware development, software development, data analysis, product, and interaction design. And we are ready to devote our lives to fight the problem of air pollution, together with our ambassador, as I will show you in the video is coming. Thank you.
Penso che questo sia un progetto meraviglioso, penso che tutti i cittadini milanesi e europei dovrebbero aderirvi perché la consapevolezza è la prima arma per il cittadino per poter davvero far valere i propri diritti. Sono contenta di avere il vaso perché così posso monitorare l'aria che respiro io e che respirano i miei figli quando escono da scuola e quando li porto al parco.
Thank you.
Penso che questo sia un progetto meraviglioso. Penso che tutti i cittadini milanesi e europei dovrebbero.
Thank you very much. So again, I'm Carlo Alberto, and we will be very glad to answer to your questions. We will find out there.
Thank you, guys. I think we have time for a quick question, follow-on question. I guess one question I had is, when you think of the plant and how you guys measure the quality of the air, how localized is it? If I live in a different part of the city, will I get a different outcome? How sensitive is it to variation?
Yeah. Okay. We're measuring ultrafine particles, PM2.5. So,
can you speak just?
Sorry, yeah, I can. We're measuring particles, ultrafine particles, PM2.5. And from the data, from the literature research that we've done from our field tests, we found that they can really change from street to street. So basically, the wider the spread, the diffusion of the pods in a single city, the higher the quality of the data that we can gather, the higher the capillarity of the data, of the map that we can create of air quality. Yes. And this will enable new solutions to tackle the problem that will go from an average perspective, which is the one that we have now, to an hyper-local, detailed information that will enable new solutions.
The data that I showed you at the beginning is from a project of London. It shows that in 1 kilometer, the concentration of particle can change more than twice as much, so double. And it means, at the end, it means a lot of years lost, years of life lost more, depending on the location in the city. And yes.
The City of London is right now building a 100 sensor infrastructure in London. We want to make this scalable and people-driven.
Is there any thought about how, and I think the video was powerful because you can see the need and the willingness of citizens to engage, but a way where at some point, because obviously we need action, right? At the end, that's the point, a way to empower these communities, so maybe when you reach a certain level, they can send a message to local authorities, or they can.
Yeah, the app that we are building will allow to do this, to gather people and to connect them with local decision makers. So through associations, social streets, and local representative.
That's great. I think we saw teams that really have a purpose, and it's also refreshing. I think there's a European, a bias, and a wonderful one towards projects that will better our lives collectively. And I would say that coming from the US, it is also refreshing to see entrepreneurs that care about building a business and improving our lives. And you are guys collectively, all the teams, to be congratulated for it. So another round of applause for these guys.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Carlo. As we were mentioning last time, I thought like we would do a small game with the teams that were presenting before. If you can go to your smartphones, can you put on the main slides, please? Okay. All right. Can you go onto your smartphones and go to slido.com or sli.do? So you're getting official permission to check out your smartphones right now. Yep, sorry. Okay. All right. So please go to slido.com, and the code is OGR-SAY. All right? So once you go over there, you'll be getting 3 questions. We'll be checking out also with Noam. No, you're not allowed to answer. To see which of the teams, according to you, are best at the problem category, the solution category, and the communication category. Okay, let's see. Who do you think? Noam will win for the first.
I'm supposed to guess.
Yeah, we see.
I would say, you know, I have to give it to you in order.
No, the first one is the problem. Like, let's say which team has the best solution in your perspective, and let's see if what you think and the audience thinks matches.
Oh, that's the Shark Tank part. I don't think I want to go there. I think I want to listen to what our friends have to say. I think wiser for me was, oh, okay. Wiser
oh,
for
no,
me.
that's too. All right, the solution category is going to be per Wiser. As soon as we reach roughly around 300 votes, you can move on to the next question, please. Like, this wasn't happening when we were talking about impact innovation before. It wasn't happening because we planned to, but like what we have been noticing is in the School of Entrepreneurship and Innovation, and probably also in other incubators and accelerators that at least we have in our ecosystem, we are noticing that a lot of students naturally drawn towards impact innovation. We don't know if it's a combination of different factors or it's a sector that they feel strongly attracted to right now, given with the like the various campaigns going on for climate change, for fight against climate change and all the other social problems that we are having. But like we see that most of our students have almost like, let's say 2 out of 3 projects that are coming out usually have a strong impact element inside them. So next question, please. Which team communicated and presented better? Okay, no, Noam, you're not allowed to see.
I'm not allowed to see.
You're not allowed to see. You need to guess without seeing. No. Please die.
I'm looking at you guys. No, I would actually go for Wiser again.
Okay. All right. So let's see if your choice is going to make it, or it seems like the first team is having a pretty strong run. Yep, in a couple of seconds, again, we are going to close this poll and go to the final question of the poll. I think that's a pretty clear winner. Let's go to the next question, the final question, please. Which long-term vision and impact did you like the most? Which of these themes that presented do you think are going to have the biggest impact or have the most long-term of visions? Noam, again, please. You're cheating. This is not...
I'm just like observing what the crowd is going for.
Okay. Yes, I think we'll stop the poll with that. Thank you for giving us your responses. Noam?
No, that's really interesting because obviously the long-term vision and impact as an investor, right? These are questions that are not exactly, you know, you want, obviously if you can, you want entrepreneurs who will have a deep impact, but you also want you think about execution and ultimately, obviously about potential exit and return, right? So I think these questions are, and we're at the crux of it. Like we want these entrepreneurs to change the world we live in, And as investors, we also need to make this conscious investment decision to maximize the odds of having positive outcomes.
All right. Thank you, Noam, and thank you to you all to also help us with your feedback. As we mentioned before, if you want to meet any of these teams, they'll be just near the exit with their prototypes. All right. So we move on to the second part of the day. We would be right now starting with the talks regarding mostly Europe and global innovation. And to have as the first presenter or the first speaker on the second part of the morning, I would like to introduce to you Ms. Fabiola Giannotti, Director General of CERN.
Good morning. So I'm very pleased to have the opportunity to talk about excellence in European research. I'm waiting for the slides. Should come. Thank you very much. And I will also try to emphasize the links between the links with industry and with the high tech and technology transfer and entrepreneurship. So let me start by showing the map of 8 leading European research infrastructure in science. These are the 8 greatest research infrastructure in Europe, and we get together in a group which is called Aero Forum, where we try to align our approaches, our goals, our missions, including with respect to knowledge transfer to industry. So you see there are many of them. There is ESA, European Space Agency, Eurofusion, the European Synchrotron Radiation Facility in Grenoble, the neutron source at the Institut Laue-Langevin in Grenoble, the European Free Electron Laser, the European Southern Observatory